So meet our new does. Say hello to Chloe with the white ears and Blossom with the brown ears.
Ah, you're squishing me. You forgot to unlock it. Come on. They're so cute. Come on. Get up. Get up. Whoa. Hi. I want to take one. Take a beat. You can eat that. She won't walk though. Hey, it's okay. She's like, where are we going? She doesn't have Come on, girl. Come on. What are you doing? Go, go, go. Go, not that way. Go. Go. Oh, she's pooping. I'll leave you alone.
This way. This way.
What is she doing? Oh, she's peeing.
Come on.
She was sitting there with her tail up. I was like, she's not to poop. Mom, is that follow the leader?
Sitting here in front of the window watching the new girls outside. Just making sure they're getting acclimated to the fence. They've touched it a couple times. They're testing it more than the other goats have. So they're making me nervous. So just watching them, make sure they get it in their head. Don't touch the white fence. White fence is bad.
Is this Chloe's milk? Valen, find it. You lost it. Find it. What? Where did you put it? Chloe's milk. And the other goats.
You poured milk on the floor and I'm recording it.
Mom.
Milk.
Smile and say first day taste test.
No.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
That just gonna say it.
Drinking milk.
Say first day taste test.
First day's taste test.
All right, grab a glass. Who's first? Lanny, you hate goat's milk. Let's see what you think.
I just brushed
She
my
had to grab
teeth.
her favorite.
No, don't put your cup back. I don't want to get mixed in. Keep your cup.
It tastes gross.
Tastes gross.
I don't like it. Lanny, it's different milk.
It's not the same milk.
Did you make me a cup too?
Yeah.
Who's gonna try it next?
He just brushed his teeth. Why?
So now it's gonna taste like toothpaste.
And I just brushed my teeth too. I want some too.
Okay, hold on. His eyebrows are furrowed. I don't know what that means, but I just said it.
What? I tried it first. Oops. You don't have an answer yet?
Lathan, come on. You have to know by now what it tastes like.
First,
I just think it tastes like peanuts.
what?
Like,
You taste
So it does have sort of a bolder flavor.
I didn't taste it yet.
It almost tastes nutty a little bit. It is our first time we've ever pasteurized, so we probably should have tried the milk before we pasteurized to see what it tasted like, because we don't even know if we did pasteurization right. Our thermometer broke halfway through the process. So it's also first time pasteurizing. It's not bad. It's just different. It's a little bit bolder than what the milk you get at the
no,
store.
it smells like peanuts.
It does almost have a nutty taste to it.
Yeah, it smells like
Yes.
She probably just thought
Try another sip.
Mom.
it seriously tastes like you're drinking peanuts.
No, it doesn't.
Now it tastes like peanuts.
Oh, you're making everyone say it tastes like peanuts.
It's coming.
What do you think, Valen? How is it?
Mom, you're choking. Help me.
Good. You love goat's milk. You love it all. You don't care if it tastes like a goat afterwards or not. You said, I like goat's milk, right? So he does this thing in the morning when he comes out and we're about to get him milk. He demands goat's milk. He's been doing this since we got him. He thinks it tastes better than the store-bought. Let's see if he can do it for you. What do you normally say in the morning when we go to pour your milk? What do you say?
Go.
No, you say, goat's milk, goat's milk, goat's milk.
Goat milk, goat milk.
A little bit more bolder than that.
We gave him cow's milk today, and he was like, no!
Where are all the other ones?
Over there. I see one over there.
Hey, come on. Hey. Come on.
He has no idea.
Hey, come on.
We have some farm updates for you. So we did sell Stanza and Holly. We sold them over the weekend and we got 2 Nubian goats. So they are brand new here on the farm. They still concern me a little bit with this fence because they still test it sometimes. Not as much as they did. But they took longer to get to to understand the fence than our other goats did. Our other goats usually tried it once and they figured it out. They didn't touch it again. These guys have touched it a couple times and actually 2 or 3 times have stuck their head right through the netting. So luckily, every time they've done that, we've been right here watching them. So I've been able to quickly turn it off and get them out. But yeah, they have a couple times stuck their head right in through the net. Probably because they're used to having a normal fence where they didn't have to worry about electricity. But they are doing fine. The milk tastes amazing, guys. That was the problem, apparently. We did follow the feeding regimen from the seller. So we changed up the feed that we were feeding them, just in case anything that we were giving ours was causing any off flavor. But I really think it's just the breed that we had. So we got rid of the Saanen and the baby Toggenburg. And we do have the adult Toggenburg that we're going to sell as well. But we just haven't sold her yet. So next we're going to move their pasture out to a new zone. So you want to do that. Some people do it every day. Probably the best practice is to do it every day. We don't work that hard. We do it a couple times a week. The reason why you want to keep them rotated is you want to keep them from eating all the good stuff out of one zone and trampling it all down and killing it off. Because the quicker they're moved out of there, then that stuff can get fertilized from the remains they leave behind and grow back up better. And that gives you more pasture than what you'd have if you just gave them access to everything. If you give them access to everything at one time, they would run out of food faster than if you chop it up into smaller segments and move them around. The reason why we put the chickens in behind the goats is because the chickens will go in and clean up after them. They'll eat any parasites that may be living in their poop, have been dropped off there by the flies or anything like that. And they'll get that stuff turned over and help keep fly load down, because they're going to eat any fly maggots that would be inside the feces of the goats. So I'm going to get this fence moved up and I'm going to get to try my new time-lapse feature today. So let's check it out. Me and Mom are getting the 2 new goats. You guys got to get something else. So we're taking them right there.
Yeah, okay. I'll take that.
I'm okay on new go.
Oh, yeah, put the chicken back over there.
I'm okay. Can I take this one of the southern ones?
No. No. This way.
Hey, I knew you. No, not that way. This way. Mom, follow me. Follow me.
And the other benefit of moving the goats is it makes them really happy when they get something new they haven't had. So here they are, just enjoying all the new browse in their new pasture zone. And now we got to put these chickens in the goats' old pasture. So personality assessment. So Chloe, again, the one with the white ears, we believe is afraid of heights because she doesn't want to get up on the stanchion at all. Like, I have to lift her, carry her up on the stanchion. And then when she's up there, she sort of shakes for a few minutes when she's up there until she gets some food in her face, and then she calms down. But then when you want her to get back down, she's trembling again. She doesn't even want to pull her head out of the holder to back out. Both of them seem to have some sort of separation anxiety. They go nuts when they're separated from each other, even for a few seconds, for you to move one out while you go back and get the other one. We'll have one way out in the field and one in the garage, and there you can hear them just yelling back and forth through the acres at each other. And then Blossom, the one with the brown ears, this isn't really a personality thing, this is more of a physical thing. She has a really large udder, which the seller was telling us that she started developing milk before she ever got pregnant. They did take her to the vet, and the vet just said watch to make sure that she doesn't ever get into mastitis, but other than that, it should be fine. But yeah, any other personality things? I told them that the one's afraid of heights. They both have separation anxiety. Oh yeah, Blossom yells with her tongue out. It's pretty interesting. She licked Morgan while she was yelling. So she goes, nah, nah. She yells with her tongue out. But they both have amazing tasting milk, and they give quite a bit of it too. Our first night was our best night. We haven't got that production level quite again. I'm assuming we might go up a little bit more from what we've been getting.
You didn't say why though.
As they calm down.
Because she wasn't milking them all the way out.
Well, they weren't milking them all the way out when we first got them because they were thinking about drying them off before they sold them. But we got over a gallon, right? No, 2 cups shy of a gallon. We got 14 cups of milk the very first milking. Now we're getting 9 cups of milk. So we might be able to pull more than 9 out. I don't know. We'll see as time goes on. They're still kind of nervous here, and so with the nervousness, the goats don't eat as much as they would be if as they do when they're calm and they're used to something. So we'll see as time goes on. The feed, I was mentioning we switched the feed. So we were feeding ours alfalfa pellets on the stand, mixed in with just a little bit of corn, about a cup of corn, cup and a half of corn per feeding. No. Putting a chicken on me. And okay, is that poop or is that a stick?
That's a stick. I threw it on you.
Okay. So, the buyers, the sellers that we bought them from, they were feeding them a 12% sweet feed mix. And with the milk that they're getting, I know Nubian is supposed to have a higher butterfat anyway, but our milk just tasted awful. So we thought, I mean, it was bad. It wasn't as bad as I'm making it sound, but it was bad. It was goat. Tastes like goat. Tastes like goat. So we've switched to the 12% sweet feed mix. We tried giving them some alfalfa, and even our goats that we've had, once they get the sweet feed, they don't care about the alfalfa anymore. I mean, we have one that will, what do I call it, rummaging. She takes her nose and she'll just shove the alfalfa pellets out of the way, sometimes onto the floor out of the bucket, just trying to get all the sweet feed out. So we took our alfalfa pellets back, purchased the sweet feed, and that's what we're giving them. So some of you have noticed that I have not put any holes in our brooder boxes yet, and we know that they need them. We just haven't done it yet because none of them are old enough to lay eggs. So we didn't feel like it was necessary to cut the holes just yet and encourage them to be in there when they're not going to do anything but poop in it right now.
That's a dude chicken.
Yeah, and even now without the holes, they're still getting in there and pooping every once in a while. So we're just going to keep the holes out until they get a little bit closer to laying time, and then we'll cut the holes in those boxes. Somebody did tell us what the lever was for. We still didn't know what the raised bar was for behind the boxes, and they told us if you raise that up at night, it will discourage them from getting in there at night, because apparently chickens don't typically lay eggs at night, and I did not know that. So I guess if they get in at night, they're just going to be in there to poop and make a mess. We did not know that chickens didn't lay eggs at night. Looked it up online, and it turns out that a lot of them will lay eggs. Usually, some of them in the morning. Some of them will wait until noon to lay eggs. So we are gonna follow that advice, and I guess lift that thing up at night and put it back down during the day when we come to let them out. Just to emphasize what exactly these goats do is they go in, mow down, and then fertilize. So this is all this tall grass behind me, you can see. That's where nobody's been yet. That's where we'll be pushing them on through. And what I am standing next to, which I'll show you in a second, is where they were 2 rotations ago. And then right next to that is where they were pretty early on, one of the first rotations we put them on. So I'm going to show you the difference here. So here is the pasture they were on 2 rotations ago. This is what this looks like. So it still looks pretty dead. I mean, this is where the chickens just are right now. We're getting ready to move them over to the paddock where the goats just got off of. But here's what it looks like after they're done. And then over here to my right, this is where they were a while ago. Look at the difference, guys. Look at how good this looks compared to how it started. It all looked like that. Trees growing up, and we come in and we chop down the trees. They eat the leaves and some of the branches off, and then we chop down the trees or trim them up like we did this one, and then we mow anything they missed, and then we just let the fertilizer take over in the rain and grow fresh green grass. We're turning this brush field into lush pasture. That's awesome. Bend over.
Lanny, you've got to move now.
Someone's under there. Someone's under there.
Hey, there's a chicken while you're moving that thing inside the coop.
Is it first?
Yeah.
There
There he goes.
Poor guy. Hey, there's Oscar. Oscar, don't go under there. Oscar, you're crazy.
Like my house.
Oscar.
You might be noticing something isn't right with a mobile chicken coop. I did not put the eye holes. Actually, I bought the wrong pieces. I didn't put the eye holes screws on the front, so I don't have a rope tied to it to pull it. But that is on the urgent list because my wife is telling me her back can't keep lifting this thing up. So we got to get those eye holes put on the front end of this here, and we'll be able to tie a rope to it and pull it along. If the rope doesn't hold, then we'll go get some steel wire. We're gonna try a rope first and see how that works, since we already have rope around. Drop it over.
Janet, he did.
You know who has the biggest smell of anybody? Well, I don't know. I haven't smelled her lately. We first got some more.
It's probably that sweet feed.
This is the one that was sitting in my lap.
No, it smelled like pee-pee, not sweet feed.
No, she smelled like poo-poo. Don't you remember?
Oh, you guys, so cute. My little duck.
So now I'm trimming up the trees where we just moved the chickens out of, because we like ours no branches or anything down near the ground. So get a mower, you can get a mower up underneath it and everything will help a lot better. Kids are playing with the ducks. They're loving this mud puddle. They dug a giant hole in the yard, and I don't know, did you guys fill it with water?
No.
The rain did.
Okay, so the rain filled it with water and now the ducks are enjoying it.
It's mud. like Pete, doesn't it?
All right, well, I didn't get all the trees done, but it is time for me to go in and milk. So we gotta stop here for today. Wrangle up the rest of these chickens that didn't get caught. Put them in their new paddock. But I got 3 trees done.
Oh, you all are doing so good. Look at America back there.
Come on, Slowpoke. You're only 3 years older than these girls. Let's go.
America. Here's more. Come on.
All right, guys, it's 7:27, and I've got the last one partially milked. We're gonna dry her off since her production dropped so much and we're not enjoying the taste of her milk anymore. We decided to dry America off, so partially milked her out. I got to get inside because 7:30 is when our conference starts. So the Homeschool Family Conference we normally go to every year, they because of COVID-19, they are having their what are we in? April? Their current April session online. It's free to everybody who wants to join. They're doing it all week long, Monday through Friday this week. I don't think it's the weekend. I think it's just, yeah, Monday through Friday. They're going to have kids sessions and adult sessions and all that. It starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So if you want to join, I'm going to put the link in the description below. And just want to say before we leave that we did go back to the store and we bought some more chickens. So we got 6 bantams. What we did not know at the time of buying, because we're looking like, hey, okay, I know it's been a little while, but maybe these chickens are smaller than the first chickens we got, but then, you know, we're like, but they're babies. It's been a while since ours were babies. We're probably just forgetting, at least that's what I was thinking, probably just forgetting how big they really were, because these guys look tiny. And here's a picture of them here. So we got home, and, you know, we're loving our chickens, cleaning up the ones with pasty butt and whatnot, which if you don't know, all you got to do is just run their rear end under some water, give it a little pinch and break that stuff off. But if they have food stuck to their back end, you need to get it off. Otherwise, it can clog them up and not let them poop, and then eventually they'll pass. So what we found is that bantams are actually mini chickens. Like our Nigerian dwarf, then it's a miniature chicken. So it's like other breeds. Yeah, I half milked her, so.
Oh, you did?
I half milked her out. It's a miniature chicken. So I didn't even know that was a thing, but they are like other breeds. So it'd be like a miniature of a full-size breed. So they can be 1/2 to 2/3 the size of those, but they do eat like 3 times less feed or something, but they fly more. So yeah, we got straight runs, 6 of them. They were only $1 a piece, so we decided to grab them. Straight runs, I know we're probably going to end up with a bunch of boys because it says it's a mixed lot and you don't know. And well, whatever. We need some baby chicks to grow up with our geese, which are coming in May. Watch out for that video, so that they can get imprinted with the chickens and hopefully think they're a chicken too. So when we separate them out to the big flock, they're ready to protect them from like aerial predators and stuff. Anyway, that's it for tonight. Peace. So here's our brooder. And there's our little guys. Look how tiny.